Mindfulness apps have absolutely exploded on the app stores with every kind of health promise under the sun, from reducing stress and inflammation to improving your sex life. What started as a deeply cultural practice is now accessible to everyone at the tap of a button. But is this a good thing or just another opportunistic money grab? From ancient religion to modern science, meditation has been such a big part of so many cultures that some have argued it's a core part of being human, possibly dating back as early as humans have walked the earth. Meditation can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but the basic idea is to practice focus, attention, and awareness. You can do this for a lot of different reasons, but you can imagine that a lot of ancient meditative practices were tied to specific religions or philosophies. Buddhism, Judaism, Hinduism, Christianity, and Islam, just to name a few. These practices were often designed for things like developing virtues, deepening your understanding of philosophy, or connecting to a god or spirit. Basically, meditation tends to conform to whatever culture it finds itself in, which is exactly what happened here in North America. There's obviously more nuance to it than this, but the oversimplified story is that we basically took Buddhist meditative practice, turned it into a science, and eventually a total money grab. It's kind of what we do. Today, the meditation most of us know isn't so much a spiritual, religious, or philosophical practice as much as a science-backed tool to acquire certain results: increased productivity, better health, a happier life, etc. Just the way the science fell, we tend to focus mostly these days on one specific form of meditation: mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness is basically just being more aware of the present. A mindfulness practice can be as simple as staying still for 10 minutes a day and paying attention to your breath. Doing stuff like this can produce a whole range of scientifically shown benefits, like reducing stress, anxiety, and blood pressure, improving sleep, helping control pain, and just being more aware of yourself and who you are. The appeal is so obvious, and it's not surprising that pretty much everyone from registered psychologists to professional sports players are proclaiming the value of meditation. From treating or preventing mental illness to being more productive or harnessing your best self, meditation could be the key. We've pretty much all heard of the wonders of meditation at this point, and yet most of us still don't meditate regularly, and that's because it's hard. We're a busy society and it can be difficult to find time to just sit still. And when we do, it can feel very unfamiliar and even uncomfortable. We might not know much about meditation and feel like we're doing it wrong, or get discouraged when our minds wander, which happens especially when you're new to meditation. It's one of those things that might look and sound easy, but when it comes down to it, it's a genuinely challenging practice that takes time and dedication. And here's where mindfulness apps come in. In classic app fashion, Headspace, Calm, and literally thousands of others promise to take a desirable but difficult practice and turn it into something convenient and manageable. They lure you in with the health benefits and keep you interested with constantly updated guided meditations, daily reminders, and a sleek user interface that keeps you engaged. They often even gamify the meditation experience with elements like stats, streaks, and goals. We talked about this a bit in our fitness tracker video, but basically they just try to keep you motivated by providing progress trackers or badges as you log in daily and listen through these meditations. It's basically Duolingo but for mindfulness, which I have to say feels a little off to me. Isn't the point to free our minds through discipline rather than be manipulated by cheap gaming tactics? But the thing is, it actually kind of works, or at least it seems to by many accounts. Just read some of the reviews on the big apps. There's a reason they're rated so highly in the App Store. They seem to actually help people get into the meditation groove. These apps are still relatively new, so we don't have a massive amount of research to back this up, but at least one study showed that as few as 10 days using Headspace led to decreased depression and increased positive emotion. Today, it's not unheard of for psychologists to recommend mindfulness apps to patients, and the American Psychological Association itself discusses these apps in a medical context. And yet, there's something that doesn't totally sit right when it comes to these apps. First of all, I'd just like to note the sheer irony of using your phone to get in touch with your more calm, mindful self. You know, the thing glued to our hands that in all likelihood is one of the biggest sources of your anxiety and distractedness to begin with. It's kind of like when Megamind tries to create a superhero to clean up the city that he himself trashed. It might work out, but probably a risky move and not without some downsides.
Oh, I wouldn't say free, more like under new management.
One of the things they don't tell you very often is that meditation actually comes with some potential discomfort. Meditation is meant to alter your state of mind, and with that comes the capacity to dredge up painful emotions, past traumas, unwanted hallucinations, or even just a sense of failure when you're struggling with it. While meditation tries to help with conditions like depression, there is a small percentage of people who have experienced the exact opposite. When you meditate exclusively using an app, you're denying yourself social resources that could help work through some of these thoughts and feelings. In a more traditional context, you'd likely learn these techniques from living, breathing human beings in your community. You may also have a seasoned guide, maybe a guru, priest, or monk to help you process things. But it's not going to be through an app. It might be through joining an in-person class or regularly meeting with, say, a psychologist or some sort of guide. I don't know. I'm just saying it's worth considering having a support team of real-life humans when considering your mental health. Then there's the fact that basically everything on these apps you can get for free somewhere else. Did I mention that meditation's been around for thousands of years? It's not like this great copywritten secret. Today, you can easily find guided meditations on YouTube. You could read about them in a book. You could find a number of blogs and do a self-guided practice. And by the way, self-guided practices without a voice constantly distracting you might actually work better for you in the long run.
Why are you talking like that?
Why are you talking like that?
Especially if you're a seasoned meditator. I'm just throwing it out there. And yet, despite all of these free resources, apps like Headspace charge about the same amount as a Netflix subscription. It really seems to me that what you're paying for through these apps is convenience, addictiveness, and often celebrity sparkle. But if it works for you and you're into it, I say do what you love. $13 a month is ultimately a small price to pay for peace of mind. I just don't believe you even have to pay that much. You don't need an app to set up a daily reminder on your phone to take a breather, and you don't need access to hundreds of different meditations to get going. In the case of meditation, there's nothing wrong with repetition. In fact, it's encouraged in many practices. Eastern Orthodox meditations, as one example, tend to revolve around saying the same short prayer again and again, and doing the same sort of thing daily. Modern psychology affirms that something as simple as repeating a short mantra like Om can help quiet your thoughts and calm your mind. On the other hand, these constantly updated, star-studded libraries seem to use manipulative tactics to keep you investing in them. A cynical person might just say these businesses are capitalizing on people's anxieties by essentially selling peace of mind. And that doesn't feel right, especially with the rhetoric. Mindfulness is often presented as a solution for all of life's problems. An app can definitely help you sleep more or reduce anxiety, but only if you put in the work. An app doesn't make mindfulness suddenly easy, and it's not going to miraculously fix the root cause of your stress. It will probably help, but it's only going to take you so far. But again, if an app helps, it helps. We definitely don't want to discourage that. It's honestly fantastic that so many people have access to meditative practices these days. Just maybe consider free options first, or even connecting with someone in your community. As one of many possibilities, Insight Timer has a ton of free resources, and you should be just fine without the paid option. And if you have a Netflix account, Headspace has some episodes up on that are a really great intro. These free resources are a great place to start. There are also a number of other ways to practice mindfulness throughout your days. The next time you go for a walk, pay attention to the way the air smells, how the wind feels on your face, and the way the leaves rustle in the wind. Or the next time you eat, draw your attention to the tastes and textures of your food. All of this is mindfulness. Hell, just being with your breath counts. And let's all remember to take care of ourselves in other ways as well. Have fun with friends, get outside for exercise, eat good food. Meditation on its own isn't going to solve all of our problems, and it definitely doesn't take the place of seeing a qualified professional if you've got a lot on your plate. Wherever your mindfulness journey takes you, we wish you all the peace that you seek. Thank you so much for being part of the team, and if you like and subscribe, I will see you in the next video. Bye!